by Rudolph Ogu Okonkwo. After 10 years as a teacher, a young Okija man decided to go and express his gratitude to the most important person who taught him in school. He traveled 47 kilometers to see his old teacher in Nobi, where the 80-year-old man had retired. When he got there that hot afternoon, he saw the man resting under a mango tree with a small local breed dog often called Bingo, keeping him company. Around him was a modest bungalow with rows and rows of hibiscus and white gardenia planted around it. Some of the glass window louvers were broken and replaced with pieces of wood. The scent of blooming cashew tree filled the air. "Sir, you taught me in class 4, do you remember me?" the young man said after introducing himself. He wore khaki trousers with a white shirt, an old-school uniform his old teacher could quickly identify. With his failing eyesight, the old man did not recall the young man's face or name. After 30 years of teaching over 4,000 students across the old eastern Nigeria, most men at his age would not remember unless for exceptional cases. The young man was not surprised, considering it was over 20 years ago since he was in the old man's class. He, however, thought his case was exceptional. "What do you do now?" the old man asked him, shifting the wrapper around his waist to fully cover his arthritis-riddled knees. "I am a teacher," the young man answered, his eyes beamed as he said so. "That's nice," the old man said. "Teaching is a very noble profession. Even if everyone forgets about you when you are old and retired, you forever retain some of the beautiful memories of your time as a teacher. Even if your material reward were meager, you would cherish the knowledge that some of those you taught are the ones running the affairs of your country. In the rare case when your former student traveled far to come and see you, that is the ultimate. It is always delightful to encounter one of your former students and they remember you. Nothing beats that. Especially when they have a good memory of you. It beats being a police officer or a soldier, which were the other career options available to us then." The young man smiled. "You inspired me to be a teacher," he said. "How?" the old man asked, brushing off a mosquito that landed on his wrinkled arm. He could have crushed the mosquito without looking based on his sharp reflex, but he did not. Then, the young man told him the story of the day he changed his life. "I was in class 4, the young man started. On that day, a friend of mine came to class with a beautiful watch his father bought for him in Onitsha. All of us in class admired it. Being that my father was poor and could never afford to buy me a watch like that, when I had an opportunity, I stole the watch." He paused and glanced at the old man's face. It was expressionless. No judgment had formed.
Blessed are those who know how
Hello, welcome to another episode of Have Your Say 247. I am Rudolph Okonkwo, and today is a very interesting day on our show. We want to talk about mental illness in Africa, but we have breaking news out of Nigeria, and we want to first have a conversation around that, and then we will get into the topic of the day. So we're going to use the first 30 minutes of the day to talk about P2B resigning from PDP and what it means for the political permutations and combinations in Nigeria. Already we have some of our guests, some of our friends joining us. We want to touch on that topic before we go to anything else. And from Dallas is John Abba. John Abba, welcome to the show.
Thank you,
You have to mute yourself. Okay, Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ben, where are you joining us from?
From Maryland.
Maryland. Okay, very good. Nice to see you.
Likewise.
So, Janaba, were you surprised at what happened today?
About P2B?
About P2B?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, but remember I told you guys that the chance of him getting the ticket in PDP over Atiku is very slim. So maybe he thinks that is not going to work for him.
Okay. So will this work for him?
These are career politicians. They have their lobby behind the closed door talking to people, and maybe they told him to come to APC, and they are career politicians. You know, politicians do what they do to remain relevant and stay in power.
All right. Okay, Ben, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I'm not sure we've seen you before, but if we have, pardon me. So what is the take on P2B moving away from PDP and joining? I'm hearing that he's joining ANPP. Is that the party? Anyway, what's your take on him moving? I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, for me, like politicians, they always try to find an easy way that would, how they could get on top. So it's all politics. That might be another avenue for him to succeed or something. But I'm not surprised with Nigerian politics. There's always things that you don't even expect. So it's not new to me. The way I see it, it's just something that politicians do to try to find a way so they could get on top.
Okay, Ovie, I saw you at another program running your mouth. Do you still have something to say? Do you still have anything new to say? Because we don't want to hear old things you said somewhere else. We want new materials.
Yes, on this platform, I told you that please not in the equation. Remember, I told you.
Yeah, you said it. You said he was wasting his time.
He's wasting his time. I didn't even know why he declared in the first place.
No, but this, I think this is what don't you think this is a strategic move? Moving out, because now he may get the ticket of a third party, and he may be the
there's already a third party, which is the only force. In fact, that's my party anyway. NNPP is already the only force.
So is he moving to that party?
No, we have settled that out. We have our presidential candidate and vice presidential candidates already. We have settled that.
Who are the candidates?
We have Konkoso going for the presidency and Pat Utomi as the vice president.
Okay. So yeah. You don't think there could be another party that will make it give him the ticket? He didn't say he's not participating.
He's going to. I think Obi will end up in Labour Party. I would be shocked if he didn't go to Labour Party.
Okay.
He's not going anywhere. Him going to Labour Party, he just make what I said earlier on, that this 2023 is going to be 3 ways. It's just going to be more possible going that 3 ways between between Konkozo and NPP, Amechi APC, and Atiku in PDP. So Obi move, as for me, I don't see, he shouldn't have declared. That would have even given more chance of being on one party. But at this point, I don't know. Plus, again, the rumor out there that the guy na Akagom, you know, won't spend money or you don't get money. So at this point, how is he going to do it?
But don't be surprised about young people. Let's see. Let's go to
young Kenny.
You don't believe that. All right. Jude, thank you so much.
One, they're not registered to vote. Two, you come out and say you go jail politician where go spend dollar during your administration. And you think you are welcome to the party.
So you think he's finished?
No, it's yes. I talked about before now. I know the equation. On the most serious note, I mean the way the system is set up as it is now, and the political party system that we are practicing, it's not favorable at all.
Wow. Okay. Let's hear from Jude. Let's hear from Jude. Jude, do you agree that Obi is a big mistake?
Well, like I said in the last time I appeared on this program, it is a foolhardy for anyone to think that Nigeria might still be called Nigeria in 2023. And if that is the case, if that becomes the case, then there won't be any election in 2023. Okay? And anybody that is still hoping that election 2023 is going to solve Nigerian problem, I think that person should submit himself or herself to a mental health examination. It's like some of us, most of us that come out on this platform, it's like we don't even see the handwriting on the wall. Is it that we are deceiving ourselves to feel blind of what is going on in Nigeria, not to be able to decode and see the meneteke, the handwriting on the wall, to see that Nigeria is over, Nigeria is kaput. There's no, we are only living on a borrowed time. Nigeria is no more. Nigeria is not going to be one again. Anybody that is praying for that, congratulations to that person. Let him continue to pray. Nigeria is going to divide and it's going to disintegrate, and we are all going to go a separate way. The way it's going to happen, I can't tell you, but it's going to happen. Instead, let us devote our energy in preaching, letting people to boycott this so-called election, and use the energy in educating people of the need and the benefits of disintegrating this fraudulent country and contraction called Nigeria under the leadership of a dictatorial and a terrorist president called Muhammadu Buhari.
Okay, so Jude, are you saying all these things that are happening, there are movements that our politicians are making, preparing for next year? Are you saying we're just wasting our time?
They are all charades. Muhammadu Buhari and his cabal, they already know that they are not willing, they are not going to give up that position. Because the gain that Buhari has made in his quest to Fulanization of Nigeria, the gain he has made. So, by the way, has any of you seen the recent termination of dismissal of generals yesterday? Did any of you saw that list? Rufus, I sent it to your platform. Almost every position in Nigeria now is occupied by Hausa Fulani, by Buhari and his people. So tell me, whoever that is going to win, even in the south, what is the person going to do? How is he going to reconfigure Nigeria? And then Buhari and Fulanis and Muslims will continue to look at them while they remove them from all those offices they have occupied. How is it going? What miracle is the person going to do? Let us not fool ourselves. These people, the only way to bring sanity to this country is to split it. Everybody go their ways, and we'll start building from the scratch. The Biafra will start building from the scratch. Our Dudua brothers will start building from the scratch. Middle belt if they want, if they come out, any breakup that comes out, we'll start building from the scratch. That is just the only way. And this is the only way also we can save life. Otherwise, the killing my main concern is the senseless killing in Nigeria, and everybody is running around campaigning as if nothing is happening. This is human beings they are killing, for crying out loud. It's human being that is dying every day.
All right, Jude, hold on, okay? Welcome to the show, Raf.
Hi, doctor. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, we're happy to have you. People think that P2B struck, that what he did was a master stroke. What do you think?
I don't know. The professional is here. I'll let Ovie handle that situation because Ovie is he seemed to be the one who has predicted it. So,
No, no,
Peter,
but what happened? He didn't say he's not contesting anymore. He didn't say he's giving up. He's saying
well,
that.
it's difficult. Well, we know how Nigeria works. I don't have hope for anybody who's not in PDP or APC to win the election, to be honest.
Wow.
My hope was that Peter Obi will come through on PDP. He was my candidate that I was banking on to win. Well, we shall see if some.
You know, try for no put money for a pocket. As you know, one spend on this.
I mean, remember
I was hoping the money would come to me, but that's another story for another day.
1 million youths came out over the weekend. Was it not
Yeah,
last week?
I think that we
1
should look to
million
that meeting that they had with. Remember, there was a meeting with Obasanjo to have one southern candidate come out. That is something that people are overlooking. So we don't know, because remember the photo that our friend posted on his Instagram from the meeting in Genial Media. All the candidates were not smiling. I didn't see Peter Obi in that meeting. I didn't see a photo, but I saw almost all of them were not smiling. But our brother was captioning the photo like Obasanjo was campaigning for Peter Obi to be the candidate, the southern candidate, to come out, consensus southern candidate. So what happened at that meeting, I would like to know. I wish I was a fly on the wall to find out who Obasanjo was pushing for to be chosen as the consensus southern candidate. If it wasn't Peter Obi, then who is it? Because I know, we have some stubborn heads coming out in the south. No, it was for southern candidate for PDP.
All right. Let's go to Blessing. Blessing is in Nigeria.
We are still in the race.
Yeah, Blessing is in Nigeria. Also, Blessing, what are you hearing in Nigeria? Were people in Enugu? I know you're in Enugu. How did they take the news that Peter Obi is leaving PDP?
Well, the news hasn't really. Good evening, everyone. It's almost morning here.
Yeah.
The news isn't really right here. I think we're still recovering from the PDP primary, governorship primary here in Enugu. So
By the way, how did he go?
I heard one Frank Mba emerged as the
who emerged?
Frank Mba.
Okay. All right.
So
but you don't think that what do you think about P2B's move?
I can't say I'm surprised, really. I wish I could say I'm surprised. As he was the ideal candidate, but deep down, I knew he wasn't going to get it. He probably felt he should try somewhere else, which, from all indication, is a bad move. It seems in Nigeria, if you don't belong to A or B, you can't have any chance at a political office.
My thing is out. My thing.
Essentially, I think he just
my thing is connected. Oh, is the camera on?
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Paul, welcome to the show. Paul, can you hear me? Okay, Paul seems confused. Like Peter.
Paul, unmute yourself, Paul.
Paul never recover.
We did for hot seats today, so I switch from one phone to another phone. I'm sorry, please plus TV.
Okay, so Paul, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so P2B's move. What do you think?
Dr. Damages, this one swept me off my feet.
Yeah, you were surprised.
I didn't see it coming. I think the 1 million man march that happened with Peter Obi shocked so many people. So the movers and shakers, they had to do something which Peter Obi have a hint. You understand? So you just understand that this is the best time for him to take a bow. and make another strategy. I just think so.
What do you think is the strategy?
Well, he knows definitely that he's doing very well. That's for sure. Then two, he also understands better that PDP will not give him the ticket. It's not about him talking about he's going to put people in jail because of dollar. He himself too also have dollars. You understand? They have their special place, their guest house that they keep all these things. So it's not that, but I believe when it's the 1 million march, and so many people see that within 1 to 2 weeks ago, Peter B is really, really doing well with his campaign. And so I just believe that the way he's doing, he just have a hint that he will never, ever get the ticket from PDP. So it's just better for him to take a bow. The earlier, the better.
Take a bow? How? I mean, you mean he's gone? What do you mean by that?
Take a bow from PDP.
And then what? What's the strategy? Tell me.
The strategy right now is to go to Labour Party, like Sarah reporter said, but I believe maybe by tomorrow or next to start getting more information about it. But he knows definitely well that PDP will not give him the ticket. That I can tell you. He already knows that. For him to leave PDP, because like I argued the other day, the way Nigeria see this election, it's all about PDP and APC, and it's so painful the way we see the election, the way it's going. So for him to leave PDP, I think the primaries, they've already done the primaries for Peter Obi, and he lost. So he's trying another party.
All right. All right. Let me come back to you, Janaba. What does this now mean for people who are left in PDP?
Whoever left in PDP will follow their godfather Atiku. End of the day, there is nobody that is going to take the ticket from Atiku. I already told you that long ago. And to my other brother that is talking about the womb in Nigeria, this is not the first time Nigeria has gone through this. I understand his frustration and all of that, the agitation from Dudua and the other ones, but then when everything is said and done, that's why we have Nigerian police force. Nigerian police force is control from from Abuja. So the Abuja will send down there, just like they do to Korocha. Anybody that say they will dig the hole to him and pick him up. So let us not go there. Let us pray that we all understand that the situation with Nigeria. Jesus Christ come for a long time, and we have other religions that have been on the ground for a long time. It will not solve it. All of what we are doing now, we are sharing the information. How do we go from here? Who have a better knowledge? That is the only way we're going to fix our problem. And we cannot be relying on foreign people or all those agitation. We fix it. But in terms of Nigeria, there won't be a 2023 election. That's not gonna work. There will be.
Okay.
And,
all right.
People will emerge.
All right. Ovie, is this a sign for other candidates in, let's say, APC to make their move now? Or because I thought that the strategy was, if you stay till 29th, till the weekend, you may not have the chance to now go to any other party and come out from any other party. So he decided to leave now so that he will be able to come out from any other party. What does that say to people like the vice president, people like Tinubu, who may be thinking that APC may not give them the ticket? Do you think that we may get a breaking news in another few days?
No, because that of APC, there are only two serious candidates as far as I'm concerned, Amechi and Tinubu. And Tinubu, based on his antecedents and who he is, as I said before, they will give him a juicy offer. It's not going anywhere. They will give him a very juicy offer that he will agree to the consensus, which is going to be Amechi. I mean, Oshembajo has never been a factor from day one. I don't think he even knows what he's doing in the first place.
You talk with such authority.
No, because now, wait again. I mean, 100 million per pound, I said it before, not donation. That is not, people collect that from. That is their own way of contributing to the party because they are not going anywhere. And again, if you look at what happened to our brother from the Rochas Okorocha, when he go down, they beg Jesus Christ, say, may come to an aid. Jesus Christ on vacation in Ghana. Now that is just it's a warning sign to anybody who no go say to the consensus. You are not going to go away from whatever is that's going to happen to Okorocha will go around. So there will be peace in that party. I don't think Tinubu they will let him go, but he's not getting the ticket. No, it's not. It's not too late for serious candidate. Obi is serious, even though he no get money in the serious. But that of APC, I don't think. Where are they going to? I don't think those that would decamp, they're not contender at this point. And if everything went the other way around, they will not get it.
They're breaking the ceiling.
Sorry.
They're coming through the ceiling.
Sorry, I didn't mean for them to come in.
Look at this. There is somebody without any document.
I know, sorry, I didn't mean to key this in now, but since it's playing, let's connect it to what we're discussing. What was this that happened to Rojas yesterday?
The FCC picked him up yesterday. That was his private residence in Abuja. So when not forget now, my brother go into spiritual mood. It was the last flight on his stomach begin say Jesus Christ. They come out. It was funny at the same time. It's sad, and I'm disappointed, man. That's a two-time governor, our serving senator. I mean, the way he is reacting, he was even say they should go live. Go live for what? If you know you are not going to anything, answer to them. After all, you guys are in the same party that we are not part of. So, but again, on a serious note, in terms of how the politics is going, that's just a warning sign for anybody that is not going to. I mean, as I said before in this platform, the system that are practicing is for the elite. Now them now by next weekend, by this coming weekend, they go select who they want. 2-3 people will emerge from this party. Whoever we vote for come next year, not for them. I don't care who we talk how we see them. So it's just shenanigans, but it's a game. It's just a game. Peter Obi he understands, he knows it's part and parcel of them from the one two-time governor, and I'd expect him for the fact that it's not up from since how many years now it's been out of power, and it still remains relevant in the media space, in the mainstream politics. So I give him credit for that, but for the Nigeria, the level where we're there now, we never mature reach that level. The general masses is not. We are not that conscious enough to say, yeah, this man is speaking our language. We will put everything that we have, money, whatever, and go after him. We are not there yet. So
all right.
And doctor, sorry, 1 second. And Nigeria, with the way we play politics, Obi might also shock us again, in the sense that PDP might take the power to the north, and you'll be so shocked that they call Obi back to become VP, and he will take that position as a VP. Let it look like they called him back even when he left the party to say, okay, we still need you. You are relevant to the party. Come back. Nigeria can shock you with anything. Anything is possible.
The question we should be asking, Obi, does he really have structure on ground? He no get.
Obi don't have structure, but Obi have the ordinary Nigerians that is willing to vote.
How many
for rig, just to vote. Yeah, that's what I just think.
All right. Hold on, Jude. Looking at what happened to Okorocha, he lives in this fortified building. He thought that nobody could reach him. Since Senator, my doors are bulletproof. They are armored vehicle, whatever. But see what happened to him. Do you think that a government that is powerful enough to do this to a sitting senator is not powerful enough to push for this election to happen?
Well, what happened to Okorocha, I mean, it further portrays the, even if what happened to him yesterday, I'm not going to say it was wrong. It shows the impunity of the system that we are running, how that they can do anything they want at any time. They didn't go there with a warrant. Were they not supposed to go there with a warrant? But they didn't go there with that. So they just broke into people's house. Now, any of us who are here, can anybody tell me in any civilized, not even civilized, any country of the world, this kind of thing has ever happened? Breaking through a city to go and get somebody who is not running away, who is a sitting senator. This is total madness. This is total insanity. This is very crude for a nation, and some of us are laughing at. I'm not seeing it as, I'm seeing it from the perspective of what a civilized society should be. This is so crude. This is so backward. This is so primitive. What happened yesterday? It is something that is, so sad to say. Okay, but anyway, beside that, Nigerian government, we all know that it can do anything they want. We are basically, we are basically in a dictatorship regime. This is not democracy. This is far from being a democratized nation. This is dictatorship. They can do anything they want. And again, it shows that we should, no matter how we deceive ourselves, at the end of the day, what happened in Animal Farm, for some of us who have read that book, whether Nigeria whether Buhari is controlling the military, controlling police, like that my brother has said that he will send the police to crack down those who doesn't want Nigeria or election to come. What happened in Animal Farm, everybody here should go and write it down. It's going to happen in Nigeria. Whether you smile, whether you like it or not, it is going to happen in Nigeria.
It's happening. It's happening already. It's happening.
No, to the extent that remember when it happened in Animal Farm, all the leaders were taken off, right? But the leaders are still here. The actors on the stage, they are still fully active and operating. But the Animal Farm one, at the end of the day, the actors were banished, were killed. Many of them were killed and banished. That is what is going to happen in Nigeria. Okay? Yes, I said Nigeria they may not be Nigeria come 2023. And the election, remember, when there is insecurity, the president can use that as an excuse to say, okay, there is insecurity, the country is not safe, we are not going to have an election. Now, how are you going to have an election when many parts of northern states have been taken over by terrorism and they're even paying taxes to them? How are you going to conduct the election in those northern states that have been taken over by terrorists and the governors they are not even in their states, they are all run to Abuja? How are you going to have election in those states?
Okay, hold on, Ed. Hold on. This is what we're going to do, because we are still going to talk about mental illness in Africa and our attitude to that. So we have this conversation for another 10 minutes about the politics of Nigeria, and then we go into that, because I really want us to get into that conversation. Blessing, since we are talking about politics and things going on in Nigeria, I want you to tell us the mood in the Southeast, because there have been so many killings, and I don't think we paid much attention to that. The killing of the Fatima and her kids in Anambra State is a very serious thing, and the beheading of the lawmaker. So what is the mood of people in the East? Tell me what people are saying.
Doc, the mood in the Southeast is very subdued and tense. Very tense.
Are people they don't have any idea of the people doing this?
The thing is, I do not know how to put this, but everybody is walking on eggshells.
Including the politicians?
Including the politicians. Even we, the ordinary people, we are walking on eggshells, because you can be speaking when news like this break. We in the Southeast, with the suffer chook mouth inside us. With the suffer chook mouth inside. I know the times I have been hounded on Facebook. Somebody actually said he was going to track me down and deal with me, that I was a saboteur because I called out their shenanigans when it started newly. When this whole nonsense started newly, I was quite vocal. So somebody was like, you, saboteur, this, that. I know where you live. I'm going to track you down. I'm going to teach you what happens to saboteurs.
So,
I blocked him. I blocked him and life went on. But I want you to understand that with everything that has been happening recently, the mood here is a very tense one. It's like everybody's scared, especially those in Anambra. They are afraid of a retaliation. They are afraid the people in the north, the northerners, are going to retaliate. They're going to start killing Igbos over there. They are scared the ones here in Anambra and in the southeast are going to cause unrest. And the worst part is when this thing happens, if their fears do come to pass, it is not the unknown government because they are unknown. They claim they are unknown. It is not the unknown government who did this, who are going to bear the brunt. It is the ordinary people who are still going to bear the brunt. So the mood is a very tense one.
all right, let's get use a few minutes to talk about that situation. Ben, welcome back. You can unmute yourself if you're muted. What is your take on the killings in the southeast?
So honestly, I've not been following too much of those stories. I can't really comment on it, but the ones that I've seen so far, I just think it's very unfortunate that this stuff keep going with the way in a almost developed country. That's what I would say Nigeria is, right? And I listened to that gentleman saying there's gonna be divide in country. I don't think that's gonna solve the problem in that country. You know, my personal opinion. Raphael is somebody that introduced me to you guys, but to me, and like me and him have a lot of different conversations about all this, right? To me, the killing is just going to continue to go on till somebody put a stop into it, right? And I don't think there's anybody that has the backbone to really say anything about it. Even Buhari and all those guys that say all those politicians, because there's so many atrocity that's already happened with the Boko Haram stuff, right? Till today, they're still existing. They should have been gone a long time ago. So I don't think anything is gonna happen. It's just somebody got to really get a stand. So to me, like I said from the beginning, I don't really have to. I've not been following much of the stories, so that's where I stand with it.
Oh, all right, thank you so much, Raf. Okay, go ahead. We want to say something, Blessing.
I wanted to say something. People have likened what is going on in the southeast to what happened in the north, how it started. I want to correct that impression. It is not.
We can't hear you very well. It's not the same thing as what happened in the north.
I've heard people compare what is going on in the southeast to how the problem of the northeast started, and I want to say it is not the same thing.
Why? Why is it not the same?
I have lived in the southeast continuously for the past 6 years, and I can say very well that I have met many people, regular people, who subscribe to this whole IPOB idea. Yes, regular people. They like the idea, they support them. I even met somebody that is a member, a card carrying member, and pays dues. These are regular people. They subscribed to this idea from the beginning. They liked it, they supported it, they went with the movement. I think
So wait,
everything
wait, hold on, let me stop your Blessing. Are you saying that the Boko Haram, when it started, that people in the northeast, that they did not support Boko Haram?
They did, but I'm still trying to draw a line here.
Okay.
Everything went BSEC last year. I think that is where everything really went south. Everything went bad last year. After this man was arrested, it's like I remember the first day he went to court, I was in Onitsha. Yes, I was in Onitsha. I went for an eye check. I was in Onitsha the first day he went to court. We were already at Mpo Junction when we heard rumors that there was a sit at home. Nobody took it serious. We're like, what do you mean sit at home? Who is sitting at home? Why are you sitting at home? I went to the hospital. Before I came back, if you know Onisha well, if you know Mpo Junction well, you would know how busy that place is. It was deserted, completely deserted. We didn't take it serious. Then they made one announcement. They said they've cancelled it, and but the fear had already been instilled in people. Fear to go out on that Monday. They made a few examples of people who came out on Mondays. So every other person was scared to come out. The few brave ones that dared them in January this year made their Waterloo. So what I'm trying to say is it is not really a religious something. I can say the Northeast was more religious. Yeah, this one is an ideology that was toyed with for far too long and taken too far. It was taken too far. And when they started this thing, when they started this whole unknown government thing, what part of the reason why people are I personally, part of the reason I would never defend the IPOB was when this whole killing by unknown gunmen started. I remember people were calling them out. They said they were not responsible. Good meaning Igbos told them, if you know you're not responsible, fish these people out. Clear your name. Remove yourself from this thing. Stop taking responsibility for what you say you did not do. Stop celebrating it. They went about celebrating it. A news will come about a killing and they'll be hailing them unknown gunmen. They're doing the Lord's work. They're taking out bad people. They're killing bad people. They kept being cautioned. They threw caution to the wind. They said they were not the ones doing the killing. They keep saying that till today they are saying they are not the ones doing the killing. But you supported the killings from the day one. Now all sorts of criminal elements who don't even know who is who. What happened in Anambra? There's several theories to it. A lot of people are saying different. I don't even know what to think anymore. They are saying it's unknown government. They are saying it's a Hausa Igbo thing. I don't know.
Okay, hold on, Blessing.
So
Yeah, I think Jude has something to say. Jude, go ahead.
Yes, let me say something quickly. You see, the situation is this: if you go out and you're being bullied or being haunted by somebody bigger than you, and every time he continue to haunt you, and then suddenly you see somebody from nowhere that you don't even have any dealing with coming now to attack that same person who has been hunting you down. There is that human inclination to begin to be happy that at least you see somebody that is fighting for you, even if you haven't sent that person. That was exactly what happened in what is happening in the East from the
that was not
beginning.
what happened. That was not how it happened.
Okay. The truth of the matter is this. Let me tell you guys. You see, that's why at times I feel bad about some of us who feel we are educated and yet we can't even understand simple propaganda. Now, what is happening in the East is purely orchestrated by the political actors, both locally and then federally. That's both in the states, in the various eastern states, and then from Abuja. Okay, these are orchestrated plans to rubbish the image of IPOB. Okay, whether you believe it or not, well, it's up to you. But this is an orchestrated plan, and like you rightly pointed out, most of this thing started from when Nnamdi was adopted. Okay, was rendition last year, and they did that to continue to distract attention from people, to give the Eastern region so much to continue to deal with, so that they divert their attention from focusing on how to get Nnamdi or
That
fight
is
for him.
what I'm talking about. Why condone it? They have the power to stop it from the onset. Why
Doctor,
condone it?
before this goes into a back and forth, let me just
So can you just please
Okay,
keep quiet?
okay. Hold on, Jude. Hold on. I know that this is I just wanted us to briefly, but it's a mistake. We can't do a brief discussion of what's happening in the East. Probably we have to have a special but a special program. But I just wanted someone briefly to touch on this so that we can move on to the subject of today. Ralph, go ahead.
I have something that ties both the East and into the topic that we are going into today.
Okay.
So, if you're an IPOB member, you won't like what I'm about to say. I have defended IPOB in the past, and I will still defend the right to ask for your right to ask for cessation, because I don't believe in the One Nigeria project. However, I believe in the BBC documentary that came out recently, because I know someone personally involved in the troll farm, because he's someone who is dear and near to me, who I've known for a long time, since 2007. We've had a great relationship. And if I mention the country, you will know who I'm talking about. Last time I was there was he hosted me when I was my first time I went to Finland, and we've known each other since 2007 online. But when I went to Finland, we've always known each other. I have his number a long time, and I know his views. When it comes to Biafra and all that. And then I saw him slowly when he started, and when he started doing this online thing, and I was like, oh boy, this not where they go. He said, yes. I said, are you sure? At first, he was saying something different. Then he started, and then all of a sudden, he started blowing up on YouTube. And then I see people following him. So I didn't take it seriously. We were laughing. We have our group that we had since 2007. We were laughing about it. Then I watched the documentary. I saw that he led to the killing of somebody in Imo State because he pointed out this person is a traitor to the Igbo cause. He deserves to die. And they killed the person. That is not what I signed up for. That is not who I am. I don't do that. I am even with my IYC, I don't do that type of thing. So, yeah, that is, we don't admit the power of misinformation. We're in a digital age. We can claim that it's not the same as Northeast. There's a huge misinformation and disinformation play. Jude, you mentioned propaganda. Propaganda is being used against your people by your own people today, and it's by your same IPOB that is doing it. It hurts to hear it. The truth hurts. Yeah, I was disappointed when I watched that documentary because I know the person. I know this person. I know the conversations we've had. If I bring my text and I start showing you, my name will start being mentioned that they should kill me too. They should kill my daughter. They should kill people. They will call me traitor and they'll say that because I saw what he was saying. In that, I haven't watched his videos for some months. So I saw what he was saying with his own words. And I'm like, when Dr. Damages, you interviewed Senator Abaribe, and he mentioned this person. He referred to him. He didn't say his name, but he mentioned Finland. I texted him and said, oh, this man probably was it you was talking about in a joking manner? And he asked me, where's the video? I was like, man, go watch the video yourself. It's Dr. Damages. Go watch it. And I saw on my YouTube notification that he released the video. He was referring to that. I didn't watch the video, but I'm pretty sure he said something about it. And I don't know what he has said about you. So I'm like, what role have I played now in this, something like this? By not calling him, holding him accountable. It's the same as Northeast, my sister. I'm sorry. It's the same because we think it's just religion. Sorry, my daughter is playing there, so she's making some noise. We think it's just religion. No, if you know how to play the game, if you have studied how the Russian troll farms work, all you need to do is have a bunch of people know the buzzwords to use, pay certain people, tell them, throw these words out there, find the people, throw these words out there, and they will just be throwing it at you. Social media now is making it possible. And you say, you want to leave Nigeria, these people don't like you, Fulani don't like you, Hausa don't like you, they were killing you, and they will just be pumping it at you, and next thing, you will kill.
All right, thank you. So I'm sorry. Raf, when we have a special episode on Biafra, we will invite you. You have something you are not telling us all the story, but we invite you. Let's see. Why are you laughing, Ovie? This is a serious business.
I mean, Raf is spot on. I mean, this on our politics. I remember you were talking about me to other platforms that I've been saying this like 2 years ago. Come 2023, we are going to have a new sheriff in town. Everybody is pulling stones and waiting to see, yes, I stand a chance. On our politics, it might be very myopic or very layman the way I'm putting it, but by the time you start dissecting in detail, you will see why it's just like a round. By the time you start pointing out to the actors, you know that everything will come together. On our politics, it's unfortunately that it's a matter of life and death, but it is what it is. Yeah, but it's sad. Now, just as he said, now them, they use their own propaganda against themselves, if it's even propaganda at all.
Let me ask.
Okay, and I
Go
think
ahead.
Peter Obi was, popping in the conversation too on Twitter anyway about he didn't say anything about the, about
No,
the
he issued a
woman.
statement too. Yeah, that's what I wanted to. He issued a statement before I saw the statement of leaving PDP. There was a statement from him where he said that that killing was not acceptable. Jude, what do you think about in the southeast? If you look at the statistics about people who registered to vote, the numbers are very low compared to other regions of the country, and right there, the southeast is already in a disadvantaged position. And no matter how many times you've said that the constitution doesn't work, there should be no election. Most of the people who are pushing for an election are pushing. Things are happening. In Enugu, they had a primaries for the PDP, and they're preparing for these elections. So where does that leave the southeast?
Well, as a matter of fact, I don't know. It's just few people that still believe in the election. Majority of the Igbos or the Southeast don't believe in the election, and also they have lost faith in the country called Nigeria. Personally, I have lost faith that nothing good will come out of that country. If they said, if they say what the IPOB is fighting, and then for those of them who, whenever they're referring IPOB, they refer IPOB as if they don't even know what IPOB means. IPOB means Indigenous People of Biafra. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree you're a member of IPOB or not, for the fact that you are an Igbo man, you are living within that Biafra thing, you are automatically an IPOB. And when the killing that Buhari is killing, is it not everybody? Most of those young kids, they are going around picking up and killing in the middle of the night and in the days and the times that they normally go and kill them. Many of them are perhaps from families of those who doesn't believe in IPOB, but he sees everybody as an IPOB. Okay, he said they're a dot and he's going to wipe them, and he has been doing that, and he has been carrying propaganda to make the whole world believe that they are terrorists that he has labeled them to be. And some of us will come out here and be laughing and be, try to, justify what is happening in the East, as if IPOB is the one they brought it upon themselves, or they are the one causing it. Well, good luck to you guys. Like they said, Nigeria, there's a breakfast in Nigeria, and everybody is going to eat that breakfast. You that is laughing today because your brother or your sister hasn't been affected, who knows? Who knows who is going to be next? It's a matter of time.
Okay,
So
all right.
The earlier we break up this country, the better we'll save life. We'll stop this mayhem.
Okay, thank you so much, Jude. Paul, say your last word so we can go to the topic of today, which about the situation in the Southeast. Paul, go ahead.
Let me just take it up from where Jude stopped, and I feel his pain, what is going on in the Southeast, but I have to let him understand that what is going on in the Southeast, it is still politics. Every other part of the region suffer the same thing. I come from the South. We have all this oil and everything. We still suffer from it, We don't have anything to call our own when it comes to the oil. You tell me anybody from South that have this big license, you understand?
But the South, they are not the armies and politicians. They are not bombarding them. They are not bombarding.
Well, everybody have our own peculiar problems. So if you want to use
the killings,
I understand. If you want to talk about killings, do you know the numbers of people that Buhari have killed in the north, in the so-called bandits, the Boko Haram?
Those are terrorists. Let them.
Well, it is the same thing now we have in the Southeast too. That's why they bring the Operation Python dance.
Let the Fulanis and let them kill themselves.
Yeah, technically, it is the same thing they have in the Southeast right now. Because people, the Biafran have good ideology, but because of what they are going through, the pain they are passing through, and everything, some other young youth, you understand, also want to take advantage of the system. My brother, there is poverty in the land. So people might use in the name of Biafran to steal, to abuse people. Whenever any Biafran abuse any non-citizen, non-resident from that part of the country, they also go back and tell their people. All right. So we all, let me go one little funny place. I live in Lagos for many years. I was born, raised in Lagos. Let me tell you funny thing. There are things we say that you as an Igbo man don't see to be anything. You know, I know an area where it's an average Igbo community. Tell me any place an Igbo man have a house that rented to a Yoruba man, to an Hausa man. They have, in another way around, when an Igbo man do business, they are very, very conservative to themselves. They keep things to themselves. You understand? They reach out everywhere. They cover Nigeria very well. They spread their tentacles in the whole 36 states. You understand? But anywhere an Igbo man also do business, they don't do business with stranger. Igbo man will never build a house, face me and face you, rent a house to another place. Yeah, at the end of the day, we'll still rent it to an Igbo man.
The spare parts business.
Yes, you might say that is not true. See, no. It started with all this little. It started with all this little thing.
That is not true.
Okay, hold on.
You live in
Lagos. I live in Lagos. I know houses.
Did you build a house in Lagos and you rent for a Yoruba man?
Huh?
Did you build a house and rent for a Yoruba man as an Igbo man?
Where I stays in Lagos, whenever I visit, is owned by an Igbo man, and he rented. I'm one of the tenants, and there's a Yoruba man that was one of the tenants, right?
Sir, if I tell you that it's 100%, then I'm lying. But what is the percentage?
But you want to rent,
tell me anywhere you do business. There is nothing wrong with it. We see the Jewish people, they do that.
You want to rent your property that someone that will pay you your money, not somebody that will live there and will not pay.
You see your mindset. That is your mindset. So if an Hausa man also do the same thing, we'll blame them for it. You understand? But these things don't really mean anything. The Jewish people do the same thing. The Chinese do the same thing here in America. The Indian do the same thing. There is no big deal. I am not saying it.
Is it the same? Maybe you are living in a different Lagos, not the same Lagos that I lived for many years. And I
live in Lagos. If you tell me Alaba International, where Igbo people do business, tell me the Yoruba man in that line.
It is Yoruba that will say, "Omo Igbo, I won't give him a house." Yorubas that discriminate.
No, it is the one that
has his money. Anybody that will pay him his money,
it is the one. No, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I am not saying it from negative. I am telling you as an outsider where things like this started from. I am not saying it. I'm not saying it.
People in Nigeria today is the Igbo man.
Okay. So we've
liberal and embracing and loving people in Nigeria today is the Igbo man. Because those are the only place that go to anywhere. They want to develop that place. They want to make it their home.
All right.
That's true.
Okay, Paul,
go
everybody.
To the east. You won't even see a buildings owned by Yorubas in the east, in Imo. Rented. You don't see it. Ask anybody. Neither will you see outside people building houses in Igbo and renting in the companies. But go to all over Nigeria. Igbo people, they have houses and they rent it out to whoever that will pay them their rent.
No.
All right.
Let us not come here and be deceiving people with our lives.
No, that's it's all right. Let's move.
Hold on, everybody. We're moving on to our topic of today.
Many of these people have mental illnesses. Their desperate families have left them here because they have nowhere else to turn. Daily prayers are their only treatment. This prayer center is one of the largest in Togo and one of many across West Africa. This evangelical pastor says he's doing God's work here.
Si quelqu'un est malade, comme un trouble mental, on n'a qu'à venir chez nous et on va prier pour eux. Par la grâce de Dieu, il va trouver la guérison.
Un homme ou une femme enchaînée, bloquée dans le bois. Je dis toujours, c'est pas leur faute.
He took us behind the prayer hall where people with mental illnesses are kept. There are 153 men and women here. Patients stay for weeks, months, even years, often without any diagnosis.
Maintenant que tu es venu, bonne arrivée.
Merci, ma grande poupée.
Oui.
Tu
Ça va,
es belle. Tu es belle, tu sais.
oui.
Comment
Belle.
tu t'appelles?
Victorine.
Victorine.
Oui. Je n'étais pas malade et je ne suis pas fou.
These people sleep outside in all weather, living in their own filth, until Numombi sees a sign that they're healed.
All right. This is our Africa today. I mean, I'm sure wherever you come from, anywhere in Nigeria, you have buildings like this, you have arrangements like this, and we are all in America. Blessing is in Nigeria. Most of us are in America here or in Europe, and this is what is going on. Human beings. There's a saying that the way you treat the people who cannot help themselves determines how advanced you are. We are expecting our politicians to behave well. We're expecting too much from everybody, but this is how we treat other human beings. I think we have to start from there. We can't expect anyway. So mental illness and Africa. Ovia. It's not the most sexy topic to discuss, but we have to start talking about it. I mean, you have to talk about these people we are looking at. Then we have to talk about the undiagnosed people who are in positions of power. Because we may sit here and be saying that we expect this governor to behave well or this local government chairman to behave well. Meanwhile, they have undiagnosed mental illness. I don't know if anybody's an expert here, but I think we should, as lay people, start the conversation. Let me start with you. Okay, Blessing. Now let's talk. Let's start with Blessing because it's been long. I've been in Nigeria, but I know that every market, every church, in the basement of all these places, there are healing houses, prayer homes. Wherever I come from, they're there. People are taken there every day. Nobody goes there to check their own people. Oh, Blessing, what's going on?
Let me tell you a very short story. Last year, I had a family friend that was admitted to the psychiatric hospital in Enugu. It's a federal hospital. When she was admitted there, her children took her there because she was showing signs of delusions. She was convinced people are after her, that they want to murder her, that there are camps buried in her compound. It was becoming really, really delusional. She was mixing a lot of her imagination with reality, and her children got worried. We made inquiries, and she was sedated. She was sedated from out of Enugu and brought to the psychiatric hospital here in Enugu. The first day she came in, her son, who was looking after her, stepped out to buy something, and this woman escaped.
And the woman did what?
Yes, she escaped.
Okay.
She escaped because she told her children that nothing was wrong with her, that she's completely okay. She escaped and she was traced back to the city where she was brought from. They went there, sedated her, and brought her back to Enugu. And that was when I got to the psychiatric hospital, and I wept. Doc, the cases you see in the churches, they are bad, but you should see the mindset of those inside the hospital. I don't know which is worse. I met several patients. I interacted with them. It is terrible. From teenagers to young children to older people. Some of them believe their problem is spiritual. A young boy that I met there, he was a patient. He's a really good fellow. He was always playing, getting into trouble. The orderlies will flog him. They flog them sometimes when they become a handful. So I got to interact with him when he became a handful one of the times I went to see him. So the orderly flogged him And he was crying. I told him to come. I brought out a sweet from my bag and gave him and asked the oddly what he said was becoming a handful, causing trouble everywhere. I asked the mom, what is wrong with you? Why did they bring it here? Mom told me nothing is wrong with the son. There is a spiritual attack. That the son is being attacked spiritually. That being in the hospital is wasting money. That very soon they will leave. I told her, no, you shouldn't leave. I've seen this boy take his medications. I've seen him being attended to. And the few times I've come here, I've noticed changes. He was getting better. So why would you want to take him away from a place of say the pastor said they will come to church, that they will fight the battle spiritually and he will be okay. Talk to next time I went there, the boy and his mother were gone. She took him to the church where they were going to heal him spiritually. Now it is so common. We do not even read this. When I speak about mental health, because I'm quite passionate about this, they look at me as if I'm an alien. You see somebody make bold statements like everybody for Nigeria they crazy. And I'm like, okay, yes, that's a good one. So everybody in Nigeria is crazy, right? He says yes, but some of them are spiritual. I say, what has craziness got to do with spirituality? Say, there's something the Igbos call Obanje. Said all these people that you see that they are crazy, nothing is wrong with them, it's just Obanje. And that Obanje mentality is what you saw in that video.
All right, stop there for now. Blessing, stop there for now. Let's get other people involved. I'll come back to you. Ovia, let me start from Ovia. Go to you, Jude, and go that way, Paul. Go ahead, Ovia.
I mean, from the video you showed, I have a different perspective. The lady said the only treatment they receive there is prayers. And what struck me is that prayer know they work. So the way, I mean, you absorb our leaders or elite now of that we should treat ourselves with dignity. So do we now say, do we tax our religious institution that pretty much occupy or take over this space? Because I'm saying take over because they get benefit from embarking in this kind of that facilities, I will call it. They get paid by private individual paying to that other different organization. You think we should either take that responsibility away from them and hand over to private individuals who can manage their situation better rather than just praying for them? Because obviously prayer not the work for anything as far as I know today. So and do we have to look it from that angle? I mean, taking the responsibility.
But let me ask you:
churches and other religious leaders, what they do is just pray.
All right, Jude, hold on. Okay, let me come to you, Jude. Jude, what do you know about mental illness in Nigeria and how we treat those who have mental illness?
Well, first of all, let me talk briefly about the video you just showed us. I feel so pained seeing human beings being subjected to that kind of inhuman treatments just because they are sick. Mental illness is not different from somebody having cancer. It's not different from somebody having one or any other illness or the other. It's just that theirs is, has to do with the brain, and the other ones has to do with other parts of the body. It's the same thing. So we shouldn't, I don't know, we shouldn't, be stigmatizing them and treat them as lesser human beings. They are human beings. If you give me those people, if I have the resources, you see those people, those number of people, if I have the resources to care for them and you give me them, before 6 months, more than half of those people there will return to their normal life. It's not because we have leaders that are so wicked, so inhuman, leaders whose hearts, in fact, who devil is occupying the center of their heart. They don't care for any of their fellow human beings again. Those people, I'm a mental health expert. I have been dealing with mental health patients for over 15 years. I deal with them every day. Okay, like in Nigeria, if you mention your mental health, you have an you see somebody walking or somebody talking to himself or herself, people will start and the moment they mention that this person is crazy or has something to do, everybody stigmatize them. Nobody even want to come close. There are a lot of people that walk on the street, even your co-workers that are having mental illness, that have one form of mental illness or the other, especially we that live in, we that are in diaspora. Okay, there are a lot of people in our offices today, just because of the society they live in that take care of them, they're able to get treatment that will make them to return to their normal day-to-day lives. Okay, was that not Donald Trump that was just a United States president that was there for some that just left being a president who was voted out a few years ago? Donald Trump is a mental health patient. It's just that he has this money, the same because he lives in a society that knows this thing and they treat them. That is why many of them are functioning. Many of the so-called money bags in America, some of them have one form of mental illness or the other, either schizophrenia, depression, psychosis, name them, okay? But because the society takes care of them, they have provision, they don't see them and send them on the wood and tie them on a tree. No, they take them to the hospitals where they are diagnosed and they are given the right treatment and they return back to their normal functioning. As long as they are taking their medication, they are okay. So for us Nigerians, until we begin to recognize that these things are treatable, most of the time prayer works. But it depends on to whom you pray to and how you make your prayer. But prayer is not enough to treat mental health patients. They need medication, they need the right diagnosis and then the treatment. When this is done, they'll be able to return back to their normal daily functioning. Depression can be treated. Depression is one of the easiest mental health to treat. Is it schizophrenia? Is it paranoid schizophrenia? Is it what our sister mentioned there? That's somebody is simply going through paranoid schizophrenia, okay? Which the medication for those kind of situations are just everywhere. It's just getting the right medication and the right combination and then give to them with some other with some other therapy, and they're okay.
All right, Jude, we're going to come back to you. Let me go to Paul. Paul, do you know? Because when I saw those videos, I could remember watching on the street in my hometown, people with mental illness lining up behind a man who is playing music for them, and people. What is your experience growing up in Nigeria?
Yeah, Dr. Damage, just like you said, I see that a lot when they bring people like that. I hate to say this, from the Southeast, they use them to sing, to make money. It can be very, very painful. I didn't really know much about it then, other than you just sympathize for them and give them change. But growing up, when you think what these people are going through, just like Jude said, it's like you having sickness. You understand? But they have sickness in their brain. I did surgery with my leg. I don't need my wife to assist me to go use the restroom. I have to manage myself, crawl to go do that myself because I can think, I can function. I have to manage myself. But if we're to be my head, then I can't function. Then somebody has to do it for me. That's how it is. Treat these people well, but the system is so bastardized. And the painful part of it, to make it worse, this religion that we borrowed, that we don't even know how to use, just make it worse. So now people are having mental issues. Then they relate it again. By the time you go meet some clergymen, some will now even say, this is the person that will make you lose your job. Well, my father, your father loses his job when they have a child with mental issues. Keep running after that child, will not focus well at work, cannot function well, the mother cannot function well. Then they lost their job. Or something happened, life happened. They say, oh, that child is a witch, that child is this. Makes it more complicated. Then they check these people into the so-called Keribu and Seraphim, to the Sabbath. It's just so funny. And these people just go through pain. Like Blessing said, I once visited the Yaba, what we call the Yaba left, some years back. Went to see a friend, this funny thing. I just came back from a tour. I made a lot of money working at the airline. So they said one of my friends is having mental issue. I felt, let me go there and help. But what I saw there, even I myself too, it's even better for me to even ask them to say, take this person here, even though if it is the church, I even then accept the church. Not until getting to the church, it is just the same of the same. It can be very painful. The system is so bad. In both ways, the system failed us completely. Nothing is being done in that constituency. I can tell you that.
Thank you. Janaba, what's your experience? Are you there? Okay, we can't seem to hear Janaba. Janaba, can you hear us?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, so mental illness
can you
in
hear
Africa.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, let's leave Janaba. He's having problems. Raf, what's your experience like? We hear people of we wake up some morning that a woman is on the roof somewhere in Sapele or in Benin or Edo State, and the woman is a witch, and then you find people mistreating the person. What is your take on what should be done?
Well, a country that loses over, excuse me, a country that loses over 6,000 doctors a year might have to start there first. You might have to stop losing over 6,000 doctors, because you need doctors in that, because that includes doctors who are in the mental health space. And we are saying doctors, that include, we are not even counting other health professionals. That's just only medical doctors. So we don't even know how many medical professionals in total that we are losing from that country alone. One thing I know for sure is that wickedness is our bread and butter, brought to you by religion, cooked up by our upbringing. One of my guests, who's now a musician based in Sweden, we both grew up in Benin City together, but never talked to each other. But we were in the same room as teenagers. He went to Benedict secondary school. I went to Word of Faith. And he said something when he was on my podcast. He said, every Nigerian is dealing with one form of trauma, but based on your understanding, you choose to accept it or not. Because what do we know about the word trauma? We don't. You say, blood of Jesus, God forbid, that's not my portion. So you avoid it, you deny it. And we don't know, how do we even deal with grief? Do we allow people to grieve? If you have faced death before, if you've dealt with death, all those things all contribute to mental illness in one way or the other. If a woman gives birth, she can fall into a major depression, right? Am I wrong, Jude?
Yeah, it's called postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression. And now we know that even the men, the father of the child, can also fall into it too, based on studies.
Yeah, there's so many
but
factors.
How many people know about that? We say, hey, this one, no respect in mother-in-law, or no respect. What language have we been using to talk about all these things over the years? We just, what kind of attack? It's always attack. Why? Why is it always attack? All these things, when I was talking to my sister-in-law from China, and she was telling me how in her culture, she's from southern part of China, and how they treat a woman when she gives birth. It sounded like Igbo people when a woman gives birth. That's why I always say, learn about other people in the world, because you are not alone. When Nigerians are acting like only Nigerians exist. But some of these habits were created to deal with mental health. Back in the days, people had already been considering your mental health. But for some reason, we found religion, and then it just seemed like you're not supposed to deal with that space anymore. So some of these things need to be, we need to go back to some of the language we use, some of the way we talk about things, some of the way we address things. People who've dealt with rape, some people who've dealt with all manner of abuses. How do they deal with grief? If you dealt with bullying from secondary school, what did you turn out to be? Some people now turned out to be the Oga today. Now they are now bullying people because as a child, all they grew up with was I was bullied. Then now that they've had power, they've gotten power, I must bully somebody. It's a trauma. So all these things we think is a joke, but somebody is dealing with trauma. And now you'll be wondering why this person is so wicked. It's trauma. But we don't like to look at it from that point of view. One last thing I would say is the American Psychological Association apologized. There's the article is out there, just Google it, on November 3rd, 2021 for it's been around since the 1800s, and they apologized for its treatment, for its responsibility for and owns the actions and inactions of the APA itself, for how its leaders I think I scrolled past it, but it apologized for how it treated Black people, especially, but mostly people of color, for the systematic racism in the field of psychology throughout history, and the work that it has done in the preparation of for writing and inform. Oh no, I messed up the apology. But the whole summary is that it apologized for the way it perpetrated racism in the application of treatments of in the field of psychology. Why am I bringing this up? A lot of the implementation of treatment of psychology in places like Nigeria is adopted from a point of racism from these same people who have improved or updated the system from the way it was back in the days. Have we updated ours? Because if we have updated ours, it means you won't. If a gay person comes for treatment, you will, hey, this one not be psych. You will say no. We will still treat that one as you have a mental issue. That's not a mental issue. If you are gay, it's not a mental issue. But we'll say that's a mental illness. So what are you considering as mental illness? Why will you send somebody to church? My uncle was chained up in the church like those people in the videos. And back then I was religious, so I was, yes, you must go there. You know, I know of Muslims who have been chained up in Islamic places. We had BBC Africa released 2 big articles about that, and there was a video of for some reason Nigerian police seemed to walk and they went and bailed people out, including a gentleman who his only crime he committed was that his parents sent him to UK for school. He went and married Oyibo, and when he came back, the parents were like, this one has mental illness, so they went and locked him up in one Islamic place for 3 years. 3 years. That's the only crime he committed. Is that mental illness? So what are we considering mental? The people who should be getting treatment, you won't treat them. You say this one didn't obey me, mental illness. He smoke Igbo, mental illness. Is that mental illness? So why are we wicked like that? And we say we are religious. So yeah.
Thank you, Ralph. Let's get two new people that joined us. Forefathers, I forgot your real name. You were here last week on a different show. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I was here. Yeah, you can call me Oliver.
Oliver, okay.
Yeah, I feel like in the case of mental health issues in Nigeria, it's bound to be there because you have a system that is stressed. And when a system is stressed, like a computer, if a computer is stressed, what you tend to have is the system will not function very well. And that is not surprising because it's something that is well known in psychology. But okay, I can say what the lady said, that people look at her as if she was, from somewhere else when she mentions mental health issues, because I think what they were wondering was, is that your priority? You have the majority of the population going through hell, and you're worrying about the minority of the population that are exhibiting acute cases of mental illness. This is how Africans see mental illness right now. And I think that from our perspective, we should look at sorting out our societies. I don't think we are inherently wicked. I think when we think like that is because we really don't understand the context that we exist in. Because if you have 2 people in a room and you starve them, or you create a hostile environment, you are going to get wickedness. And Africa right now is going through a lot of it. It's not only restricted to Nigeria. As a matter of fact, black people are going through it all the way in the US. You know, the gentleman just mentioned about how they treated us, that's African Americans over there. So we are a stressed race, period. And we are stressed because we are in a bad position. It's not surprising that we have mental health issues all over the place. The trick is try to fix the stress of that is going on. You know, this is why when I came on before, I get frustrated when our people feel like they see things going on in the world and they see how other people do it, which by my standard in Nigeria is called cheating. You know, when you go to an exam, you can copy from what some other person is doing and repeat it. But we can't even do that. That is how bad our outcomes are. We can't even copy from other people and replicate the same thing they've done. How they founded their societies, and we don't even understand how our societies are founded. Right now, our government, like I can tell you right now, our black governments, they are running their countries as like they are caretaker governments are waiting to be recolonized. That's how they are running it. They are not running it as a nation that is independent of external influence.
That's right.
That is why we are stressed. And we don't notice it. That's why suffering is all over the black countries. Is it by coincidence most of the black countries are the poor ones? Because they are not running like independent nations. If our country was stressed, it was well run, what you have is all these things we are talking about mental health issues, the doctors will be there. Even if they go overseas, the ones that are being trained will still be there. They will have education. You will not be seeing strikes all the time. You will have power supply. All these simple things. Simple things. Do you know how much it takes to buy a mobile power plant to light up 160,000 homes? $11 million. Nigeria is a country of $500 billion GDP. But why can't we do that? Like I said, when I look at the way our countries are being run, they are run as if it's a caretaker government, and that's what frustrates me. It's common sense. Why won't our people be stressed? We see our people being... This is what bothers me. We see our people being suffering, being tied to trees, being used for sacrifice, ransom, this... And we are all educated. We don't pick up. We see the cheat sheet everywhere, how other people have done it, and we don't copy.
Thank you so much, Oliver. Kaide, let me come to you. We can blame the government as much as we want, but the next question is, Kaide disappeared on me. What are we going to do as individuals? Because if you look at the history of reforms in mental institutions in America, it didn't start with the government. The government was simply interested in dumping people in mental hospitals. But it was people like the Kennedys, influential families who had people who had mental illness issues that pushed for reforms. I think there are enough of Africans abroad who are aware now that the treatment that we give to people with mental illness in Africa is not sufficient. It's not even acceptable. How are we going to begin to change that? Because there are a few things that we can do. This is not we can depend on the government. They are obviously overwhelmed by the basic things of doing the basic things for the people. Kaide,
Hello.
Yeah, Kaide, hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, sir, and good evening, all participants. So I'm sorry, I had to rush out of my office to catch the glimpse of the program. I'm sorry I'm late a little bit.
No, that's...
Yeah, it's been an interesting and very pertinent topic that you have raised this afternoon, boss. And you heard, I believe everybody heard about the shooting in Uvalde, Texas yesterday, which left 21 people dead. You know, it's all tied to mental illness. If they take that guy, if he's alive today, and is taken to, is subjected to medical examination, you will not be surprised to see or to know that the guy was suffering from mental illness before he resorted to what he did. But that is just on one side. It is very unfortunate, just like every speaker has said here, we will still blame no other party but the government. Most especially in the case of Nigeria. It is very sad. I believe everybody still remember Clifford Oji issue.
Yeah.
Did you remember? I was very young then. I think I was barely like 25 or 26 when that incident happened under the bridge in Oshodi along Airport Road. I was teaching in a private school called Day to Said International in Ajao Estate. I just finished my NC program there in FC Akoka when that incident happened in 1993 or 90, I can't remember, of 94. But the basic thing is that we need to, I said it the other day, sir, Dr. Damages. There is need for we people in diaspora to form a movement and begin to think of how we can also mount pressure or begin to act like nationalists, like our forefathers did. The nationalists of those days, the Okparas, the Awolowos, the Azikwe's. We need to form all these. I don't believe in blame game. I've always saying it, and I believe some of you will begin to see me as maybe an activist. It's not as if I'm against what we are saying. But if we, is it not Jude that has been saying this also? If we don't constitute a movement and act, all these those coming to talk will not solve the problem. Nigeria government is sleeping. They are not ready. Look at it now. Whether we like it or not, election is still going to hold. And the status quo will still continue. We need to do something. I am telling you, because if this thing continues, I'm sorry, it may even affect we people, our families back home. Don't let us think we are safe. We are safe as individuals, but our families safe?
Exactly.
It is a very dangerous situation. Thank you.
Kaede. Thank you, Kaede. This is what I always say to people who say the kind of thing that I hear from Kaede. You don't wait for people to form any organization. You form it. Find someone, start with one person who is interested in what you are interested in, and go from there. Other people will join you. There is no special place they meet to form an organization. It starts with you. If you care about something, you do something about it, and you start small. And that's the same thing with what we're talking about, mental health. It worries me because we abroad, we know the standard, the best practices that we see all around us, but we haven't been able to transfer that knowledge, especially to something to do with mental illness. I know people will say, like Blessing mentioned, that it's not a priority, that why are you concerned about that? But it impacts everything else we talk about. Even in the villages, I know in the villages you have people like they say this old man is wicked. No, nobody has gone to check what happened to him. There are some people who have toothache for more than 20 years. There's no dentist. I didn't know about a dentist until I came to America. They don't know a dentist. They've never gone to a dentist. They've been suffering from that, and they are wicked. Of course, something is wrong with them, So there are so many issues like that, and it impacts everybody we have at home. Ovie. So let's round up on this. I know it's not the kind of topic that makes people smile and run their mouth, but it's a very important thing, because we are talking about we are concerned about people who are locked up. We are concerned about people, but there are still people who are operating. In America, 1 in every 4 people have a
one form of mental.
One in every 4. I'm not sure it's different when you check in Nigeria. And they are operating, they are moving around, they are taking decisions, they are making, there are a lot of governors, a lot of politicians, they are alcoholic. They should be in treatment. They should go into therapy. There are people with trauma all across Nigeria. People who fought wars. When you see people like Babangida and all those people, Buhari, nobody treated them for post-traumatic stress. Nothing. Nothing. They are operating like they are normal human beings, but they are not. So it's a serious conversation, and I really hope that we should, when we think about building houses in the villages, we should also bring knowledge. It's not just about bringing dollars and building houses. It's also bring knowledge and try to change some of this, because people are suffering. We may not see them. Sometimes I think about, is it only in America that you have children with Down syndrome, that you have autistic kids? Is it only in America? No, they're in Nigeria. Where are they? Why haven't you seen them? What happened to them?
Yeah, they call them a derogatory name.
Of course. And they hide them from the public. It's a major thing that should be done. I mean, we are not
laughing stock in our communities.
Obi, I can't hear you very well. Say it again.
I think some become laughing stock in our communities just because either we don't understand what they're going through.
Yeah.
But again, how do we observe government of this whereby?
Oh, we are not. We cannot. We cannot.
Whereby, I mean, I won't say everybody, but the strong majority of the people are really actually poor. They can't fit. So everybody is abnormal. How do you even differentiate somebody who is acting abnormal due to the fact that he's undergoing no seafood shop, I no get work and all that, and somebody who genuinely suffering from a mental health issue?
It's true.
There's a thin line between there, because it's, and again, I'm saying this because people where they condemn people that smoke cigarette in Nigeria, for instance, and I will give an example. Person graduate, go school, still they live with their parents. Everything is wrong. If one is small, you go, you smoke and JJ, go sit down for one corner. Then you go find out trouble. The person rush you. They go say no, na the Igbo way smoke. No, there's more to it. Don't be saying that the Igbo way smoke. So there's a lot of things that the fact that an average Nigerian cannot actually feed or take care of his ourselves is a big issue, because that is you can't differentiate people who is just fed up of whatever that you're going through, and somebody who's genuinely going through what we're talking about today as a mental issue. So it is a serious thing that it requires a lot of investment in terms of the research. Our university should take it upon themselves, invest a lot of money in that aspect, go through research, train people, educate people on how to actually deal with people in the inner communities. Because we are talking about Down syndrome. Because I spent so much time in the stadium training and all that. I see bosses, they bring some come. Those who happen to be, their parents can afford to give them that special, care. Then but when you look beyond that, come down to our villages and all that, those people are going through that syndrome, don't have the opportunity.
All right. Let's welcome Dr. Dominic. He's joining us. He wants to give us his view. Dominic, welcome to the show.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, I just stepped outside of work because I was like, this is an important topic, so I have to.
Thank you so much
about it.
I appreciate
it. I've missed like an hour and a half already.
Don't worry. We were talking about politics first, but go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Raf. I know you're excited that I joined. Are there any particular questions that have been asked that I can chip into?
No, we're talking about how to educate people. Why is it that our people are not we're exposed to this abroad, but at home we are still at the beginning. We haven't even started treatment or even understanding of what it is. So how do we begin that conversation?
Maybe I can talk about my experience. I came here to the US. I was in university back home. There was strike, so I left. I came to the US through one of my uncles. Did my undergrad in biology, and then eventually worked for a little bit as a lab manager, and eventually ended up in med school. I think for me, I've kind of gone through a journey of evolution in terms of how I think about mental health. I had that, religious upbringing where people committing suicide and stuff like that is considered evil. I think after my medical training, I've gotten to the aspect of understanding the scientific part of it and the bio and psychotherapy part of it. I've gone to understand the chemical imbalances and things like that. I think for me, the big shift was I'm someone who thinks of things in terms of evidence and in terms of science. And I've gotten to understand, based on research and data, that this is not something that's spiritual or there's some evil spirit somewhere that's making someone evil and stuff like that. Even though I am Catholic, I still strongly believe in the evidence and understand that things like, schizophrenia, bipolar, some of which are happening to people back home, aren't evil spirits. These are things that have evidence to support that these are biochemical changes that are making people imbalanced, making them more, have a predilection towards being depressed, predilection towards being a little bit more erratic. And so that's been my evolution. In terms of things that we can do, I think there's a big component that has to come from religious organizations. I think speaking to pastors here and priests here, even those who've come from Africa, I think there's this shift that has happened because they've gotten to a society that values mental health, at least much more than in Africa. And they understand that this is, yes, you can still have your beliefs in evil spirits, nothing wrong in that. As a Catholic, I still believe there's some level of maybe some use in terms of doing exorcism and things like that. But I think when you're in the Western world, you learn to see the religious part apart from the scientific part. I don't think there's any reason for them to clash. As someone who wanted to be a priest before, I'm very in tune with studying Catholicism and also juxtaposing that with my scientific beliefs. And I think one of the things that I'm going to use as an example is when it comes to exorcism, right? In the modern ages, before someone is exorcised by a priest, there has to be a lot of investigation to rule out very common psychological or psychiatric things. Now, it is only when it's unexplainable by the current evidence in science and psychiatry that people may suggest, okay, maybe a priest should go and exorcise this person, right? And so I think that's different from maybe something that's maybe obtainable in Nigeria, which is where I'm from. So that's my experience. Every once in a while, there may be some cognitive dissonance where I'm like questioning my religious belief with some of my scientific or medical background. Yeah. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. I think it has to start from a place of a religious background. When someone is running mad, instead of people doing what is right, which is sending them to a psychiatrist, they first of all send them to a pastor, and people are getting flogged and stuff like that. Like, that's not helpful. Like, I've seen videos of people who are addicted to what do you call it? That's what you call it.
Yeah.
And people are getting flogged. Like, someone whose brain is just erratic and chemically overloaded, you're flogging them. What is flogging going to do to them? It's not going to help. And so some of these mundane things are things that when I look at, I'm like, oh gosh, like, we have a long way to go. But I don't blame them because I use a thing like that. Not the flogging part, but I use a thing like that. But I think sometimes it's just the opportunity that people have. When people come to the Western world, they get to experience things differently, gain more knowledge of the advanced sciences, and maybe that changes our perspective. Now, what I find issues with, I don't judge people, but what I find issues with is when people come to the Western world, there's evidence there, and they're being taught to be open-minded, to learn things, and they're still very stubborn and very insistent in their ways. There are people like that who are here. Despite the evidence, despite the level of education, they are still very steeped in their ways. I just give up on those folks.
Are you talking about Dr. Stella Emmanuel? But okay. Let's
I am not mentioning any names.
Let's not go there. All right. Let me show this video, and then we'll come back to the.
Can do all that they have learned from books. It will never work until the spiritual side is applied.
This is how they treat people like us. They think we are mad or something.
The government outlawed chaining last year. The prophets insist it's the only option.
We are gradually going away from it, but it's not easy because we don't have the facilities to confine them. And the moment we stop what we are doing, you see a whole lot of mental people walking on the streets of Ghana.
Yeah, that's from Ghana. Every country in Africa is struggling with this issue, and they are not visible to a lot of us. When we were living there, it's like part of a market. Every market, you see people who basically have been written off by this society. It's something
It's
to think
sad.
about.
I've actually had
Go ahead.
personal experience with this. I've actually had personal experience with this. Growing up as a kid, I grew up in the eastern part of Nigeria, IPOB, and I remember as a kid there was this one, I don't say madness, this mentally challenged lady who used to stay close to our house, and people would always flog her, because she's hungry, she's approaching people trying to get food, but you can still sense there's some level of mental imbalance. And people are flogging her for no reason. Just let the woman be. If you have something to give her, give her. And I remember as a kid, we had a mango tree that we didn't really like the mango. But every once in a while, this woman would come to our gate and she would beg for those mangoes. And I didn't, as an unassuming kid, I didn't think so much about it. I just gave her the mango because we didn't like it. Many years later, I didn't even remember, this lady comes with a bunch of people. I'm assuming those are family members. And she's just very thankful that, she was much better now. I'm assuming she's taking medication. She was seen by doctors, I'm hoping. And you could see that she had that sanity back. But she was very, very grateful that we were, one of those people that didn't flog her and were able to provide her with, some basic sustenance. And that kind of, gratifies, how you are able to treat someone. And I think we have a long way to go in terms of having that empathy and understanding that, sometimes you have to go against the grain of what the society is trying to push at you. Because back home, it's all about evil spirits, your village people, right? All of that stuff. Instead of just sometimes just leaving all of that aside and responding to how your body is pushing. Sometimes, like, even with all the acculturations that we have, sometimes your body just pushes you to act differently, to show empathy and love to someone else. And so, I feel like with a lot of things that are being ingrained in us religiously and societally, we just block our hearts to be very hard to people. And I think that's one thing that's changed for me here when I came to the States. I learned to be more open. I learned to volunteer and be, more kind to people. And I think that's something that's missing back home. Every time religious leaders are very strict in how they see things. You either view it from the lens of this pastor or that priest, or there's nothing else. One thing I want to mention before I head back to work is has to do with the way we treat people. I think the one thing that I value in religion, in my religious upbringing as a Catholic, is it allows me to have some form of grounding, right, to a higher being. And so whenever I interact with people, there's always a sense of I'm not just showing empathy and compassion just for the sake of it. I'm doing it for a particular purpose. So I think in that aspect, there's a religious component that is helpful. But when it comes to religion, ascribing hate and, intolerance to how we respond to others, that is where I'm like, okay, you have to question if this religious upbringing or virtue or whatever you gain from religion as a child is actually helpful. At the end of it, religion is supposed to lead you to love and compassion and not to hate.
All right. Thank you, Dominic.
So there's some religion is helpful in that aspect.
Yeah.
I have to head out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for entertaining my opinions.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. I think. Bye. Yeah. Bye. I think, Jude, let me come back to you because sometimes we want to be president, we want to be governor. We think that's where we can make impact. But I think if someone should accept who is experienced or who has the knowledge base, accept to pick up a topic like this and make it their life issue and concern, and they can transform a society in bigger ways than a governor. Or if you think about someone like Aton Zeribe that died recently, I mean, think about the amount of money he spent in politics. If he had dedicated his life and his resources in improving the lives of people who have mental illness, probably his name will be in gold today compared to what he ended up accomplishing in his political life. So sometimes we all want to be president, be musician, but there are some other things that are very important in the society. All right, Jude, round up. We want to round up on this topic.
Yeah, we all can make impact in our various ways, no matter how small. It's just, again, the basic thing is having that empathy, of your fellow human being, and not waiting until you get through what they're going through before you empathize, but empathize with someone that is going through stuff. Mental illness in Nigeria, I think one of the ways we can all make impact, especially for those that are in the field, in mental health field, is apart from mental health field, our people need education, mental health education. Yeah, our health education is going to go a long way, and like every given opportunity I have in many forums or group that I am, I always, give a little of what I know about it, because not all mental illness as a result of a spiritual attack or like we're meant to believe from churches and stuff like that. And not all mental illness have the same, there's no one particular medication for treating them. There are so many mental illness, mentally ill patients out there that are drug-induced. We call them drug-induced psychosis, like those who are taking Burumiri, cocaine, tramadol, and all those hardcore drugs, heroin. If they are not treated and they continue like that, it degenerates to mental illness. Like somebody also pointed out, is I think it's Paul. A woman going through some psychological issue during pregnancy, and if it's not well resolved, that person could easily slide after giving birth to postpartum depression. And then again, even our tradition that are putting undue stress to many women that you must have a boy child, to make you like you have arrived in that marriage. That can also put an undue stress in that woman, that if it happens that in that pregnancy that she is expecting that, oh, come what may, this is going to be a boy child, and it happens to be the other way around, that can make that woman to slide into postpartum depression, and then will not be, thinking that maybe she will not start talking to herself, hallucinating, or seeing, being delusional and being paranoid. And then people will think that, oh, there's one spirit out there that is causing the problem. No, it's not a spirit. This is just normal life issues that have gone beyond our ability to absorb or to take care of. So like the doctor said there, a lot of mental illness as a result of chemical imbalance in the body. There are 5 basic chemicals in the body that when these ones are not balanced, even not eating well, taking some, lacking in some diets, can cause some mental illness. Okay, it can cause some some chemical imbalance in some of the chemicals in the body, like dopamine, serotonin, GABA, epinephrine, and so on and so forth. So there are so many things. And then like I said, people need health education, okay? Both in the churches, in fact, they can even introduce it in school, in secondary school, health education, even from primary school, health education. That again will help not to be stigmatizing those that have mental illness, so that when they see an issue coming up, somebody behaving in abnormally, hallucinating, talking to himself or herself, they can go to the hospital and seek for medical care, not simply taking the person to the church where at the end of the day no help is going to come from. The pastors will only end up exploiting the family, monetarily. At the end of the day, the patient is still the person will still remain like that. So we need health education, but again, everything still boils down on the government. The government dictates the direction on which the country takes. So if we have fraudulent people in government, like we have always been cursed in Nigeria to have fraudulent government since independence, the situation is not going to change. It's not going to change, because these people don't care about anybody. They only care about themselves and their family. That is just it. And that is why it pained me to see that some of us come here to talk about election as if election is going to solve the problem. These people, they are just there for themselves and themselves alone and their cronies. That's all. They don't care about you. This guy, Ebere, is it Ebere, the Minister of Health? The Minister of Transportation some time ago said the reason why they continue to steal, that's the politician, is because Nigerians have not challenged them. That so long as they have not challenged them, they will continue to steal. And that is exactly what is going on. When we say let's challenge them, People will say, it's not going to happen. They begin to discourage. They're in charge of police. Police, they will send their police to crush you. So everybody will now, Nigeria feel defeated. Nigeria, do you know that today Nigeria is the most cowardice country? The people of Nigeria is the most cowardice people on earth. Trust me, if you ask me.
Okay. Thank you,
Well,
Jude. Thank you so much. Let me come to you. I'll go this way, then I'll come back. I'll come to you, Paul. But first, John Abba, I know you're a pastor. I don't know if you're a pastor. You were a pastor in Nigeria before you came to America. But what is your take on this? I don't think I've heard from you. And also, is there any different from in Benue or Idoma? How was the cultural treatment different from what we see in churches?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I think it's all over. The mental illness issue is all over the world. The only difference is the way we handle it in Nigeria, and we are trying to have a suggestion. How do we approach the mental illness? We have a Ministry of Health and all of those things. I understand youth frustration, but what we are saying is that we are not saying that election is the solution to Nigerian problem. Personally, let me speak for myself. What we are saying in this kind of situation is that how do we influence this society positively? If you call your brother today and you're in Nigeria, or your sister, or anyone, your neighbor, your colleagues, your co-worker, that are going through some changes because you are in America today and you have seen what is humanly possible, by telling them, suggesting that, okay, don't take this person to church. It's not a church issue. This is about placing them on medication so that the chemical imbalance in their head they can have treatment. But the issue of Benue or any other place, is in Nigeria is the same way. They take some of them to Babalawo, say they then go go and do some spiritual thing, and some people believe in church prayer, and it's no different from any other part in the world. The only difference right now is that let us continue to speak truth to the power. And gradually, personally, I learn so much when I come to this part of the world. Because what we see, call Ogbanje, we call this and all of that. When I enter bus in Lagos, I stay in Lagos for some time. I see people behaving somehow. When I come here now, I know that behavior was not normal, and that behavior is not just something that is a spiritual issue. Is now, I can now relate to it, it's a mental illness. So let us continue to do this, use this program, reach out to our people back home, tell them. My uncle have a daughter. A pastor actually moved to that house, my uncle's house, which is very close to our compound back home. She's taking advantage of them. I believe 100% he was sleeping with my uncle's daughter in the name of he is a church, is a pastor, and the challenges they are facing is spiritual. But why I say that is that I have to call them, put him on phone and say, you got to leave this compound today. If you don't leave here today, me too are the pastor, but me, I will approach you differently. I'll send area boy to beat the hell out of you. In the next 1 hour, I want you to vacate that compound. And he did. He left because he knows that if not that I'm here, I have some influence and I have people back home to see that I see better, that is not the way to approach it. So let us continue to do that. Any other thing, Nigeria belongs to all of us.
All right, thank you so much. There was a comment from somebody I found interesting. Please, let's stop this very time. Something happens in America and we start talking as if we have the same problem like America. Our problem is far different from it. It deals with stealing money in our country, and it's a mental health problem. Anyway, that's a comment from some of the people who are watching.
Can I just say something, add something to this?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that we are all on the spectrum, one spectrum or the other, in terms of mental illness, and societies have to decide what they want to make of their citizens. There are times when someone that exhibits savant symptoms or behavior will be classed as crazy, but in modern society they will exploit it to achieve some excellence in whatever field that savant manifests itself. So I believe that nature does what it does for whatever reason it does. It creates people differently, and we have to have way of preserving certain traits. It's like you have people on a boat, stuck in a boat somewhere. One is a doctor, one is a lawyer, one is a real estate, and the other one, they can decide who to eat first before they all die in that boat. And so they would probably choose the real estate because it's not very useful. The point I'm making is that societies decide the kind of characters they preserve. Some characters that are classed as problematic, then they will frown at it. And other times they will embrace it. Some dictatorial characters can be embraced in certain situations, while in other situations you need people that are more collegiate and willing to come to agreement with people. So when we start understanding these things, I believe that you will start understanding how you prioritize, how you deal with people. In the end, you just have to deal with people humanely. What we see there is not humane. And the gentleman that was talking about, he said they don't have the facilities. It always goes back to whether you have the ability to deal with these things. If you are a parent, you know what you have to take care of your children. If you're not rich, you're not going to be able to provide private institutions. You're not going to be able to send them overseas to educate themselves. All those things you can't do because you don't have the resources. That's how our society is. What we are seeing is just symptoms of us not having the resources. And when we talk about stealing from government, the last time I said it here, we keep blaming the government all the time. We forget we are most of the government. We are the ones that put our brothers in there. We criticize our brothers if they don't steal from the states. If our person gets into government and they don't do things to sabotage the system to benefit them personally or the family, we insult them. I've seen a Nigerian lady insult a civil servant that served because he wasn't corrupt. You need to see the vicious attack. I was like, what is that? You attack the person and you don't understand the fundamentals. You are breaking down the blocks that builds nations. The people that you should encourage, we attack them. I believe that if the people change, the government don't have a choice. Can the government convince the South to become Muslims? The government can't, because the people's mind are locked. If the people change, the government will change. And that's why some of these conversations are good. That's why I'm here. Because when you talk to people and they start understanding that their mindset matters, every mindset matters. If you have the right mindset, then the government will not move. I said it before. There's no reason why government accounts should not be made public. Why should we not see it? Why is it hidden? Because when that stuff came to me was when an official was saying something about NYST students getting some kind of trust fund for innovation. I was like, trust fund? Who is going to see where the money is going to? Who is going to know who is allocated? This is how money gets lost. And the people don't trust the system for good reasons. Money has gotten missing. Money goes all over the place. I think there is no reason why the government, if anybody knows, they should tell me, why should the accounts not be made public apart from for security reasons? If you want to pay for healthcare, we should see it. So that when a stupid guy decides that they want to bribe somebody, we will see it. And you'll find that if you can track it, people will not be attracted to that position anymore. That is how people used to steal cars before, until they put GPS trackers in cars. Now it's discouraging people from stealing cars. That's how people used to commit crimes a lot before. In London, they used to commit a lot of crimes before. But because CCTV cameras everywhere now, everybody's behaving themselves a little bit more. Technology sometimes can aid us, and I believe that in Nigeria we should be tapping into that to solve our problem. That's what they call leapfrogging. We don't have to copy the Europeans. We can get ahead of them and create the most transparent system in the world. There's no reason why we can't do that if we are ambitious enough. And once you do that, you will see that Nigerians will be willing to pay into the system. They will start trusting the system and say, I know my money is going to be used for healthcare. I know my money is going to be used for... And it's us. It's us that will do it. It's not them. If we start changing our minds, they will be forced to do what we want because they can't force us to believe what we don't want to believe.
No.
All right. It could go both ways. I mean, the government,
It's
right?
the government. It's the government.
But individuals
Otherwise,
also they impact the government.
Go Western world, and immediately they go Western world, they continue to key into the system in the Western world. Why? It's because of the government, what the government have put in place in those Western
world. If they come home, they know the customers they are coming to deal with, that are not ignorant, that know themselves, that know what they want. They are going to have to toe the line. Because sooner or later, your governments, you will stop them from traveling. There's no reason why they should be answering to foreigners. This is why I chose this name very carefully, because we seem to have forgotten the people that enslaved our forefathers, the people that colonized us, and our leaders are going all over the place, going to placate them as if they are our friends. They are our rivals.
All right.
They are our rivals. We have to grow up and start understanding that we as men have to start running our country like men, like other people do.
All right. Let's hear from Paul Jose. He just joined us. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Dr. Damages, I remember something my father said many years ago. My father said Nigeria cannot even treat malaria, talk less of mental illness. That they'll just kill these people with sleeping pills. So when they give them sleeping pills, so he's calm, he's okay. Pastor, they try. Doctor, they try. You understand? So they create more problem from one problem, they create another problem. It is that bad. I think what we are doing here, it just begins like this. Little thing you learn here and there. When I came to America many years ago, I had fever. It was getting too much, so I had to go to the hospital. But I didn't go to the hospital. My girlfriend took me to the hospital. So when I got there, they say, you have fever. You know, the traditional way, one or two people that had fever, they bring the so-called thing. They said, no, you don't need to eat anything. Fever is just a virus. Starve the fever gonna go. But in today in Nigeria, when you have fever, they bring milk to feed the virus. That's when you get milk. And it still happens till today. As little as that, I keep telling my siblings back home, you don't need all those things. Just starve the fever. I learned this. I've lived there, now I'm living here. It is very, very hard to change them. Just like somebody said, it's like convincing the people from Southeast to become Muslims. It can be very difficult. But I think if we can win one person, it begins with one, from one to one. Dr. Dami, you said the same thing to Kayode. Start this group. You know, some of the things I say here, people inbox me, people call me, hey, this kind of thing where you say, hey, it begins with your courage. I believe you just one step at a time, because this topic today, it is very, very sensitive and so emotional. It can be very painful. We all have families that we give name. Wicked, they have a hot temper. You know, we call all type of very strong words and everything, but we don't really know what they are going through, including ourselves too. You know, because sometimes we quick to say, for example, we quick to say, oh, this race. Even we in America, we quick to select, we quick to cherry pick. We judge people based on where we are coming from. But as the more you stay more longer, then we tend to understand better that no, things just don't work like this. Sometimes you don't even know what these people are going through and why it's things like this. I tell my cousin every day, you come to America with $700. Where do you live? You live in the ghetto. You want to live in cheap apartment. It is easy for us to cherry pick. We blame the African Americans because you see the worst of them. If you go live in Malibu, if you see an African American there, do you think he will behave like the way he will behave in Queens? No. It's a different thing. You know, it's completely different.
Queens is now ghetto. Stop.
I'm sorry.
I came from Queens.
I know you used to be my neighbor before I ran away.
No. The Bronx, okay, that's a different place. Okay, let's hear from Paul. The other Paul Jose. Hello. You are turn on your unmute yourself, please. Okay, you're unmuted. I can't hear you, Paul. Okay, we'll come back to you. Raf.
Yes, my brother. They will say enemies, now be pull me out, but I will say Peter Obi called me, so that's why I lost connection.
Okay.
Somebody said something that I just say, okay, let me just say this. I'm a veteran, right? And right after I got out of the Navy, I went for my checkup at the Veterans Hospital in Dallas. I was living in Texas then. So one of the first questions that they ask is, have you suffered any traumatic affair, or have you suffered anything traumatic, or had anything traumatic happen to you? Before they won't finish asking the question, I say, hell no. No, that's quick, because I did not get shot in battle. I did not, that's my thinking. But I did. But as a guy man, as a man, you say, why will I admit that something happened to me? Something did. It will take a few years later before I will admit that I was in depression, that I was very angry. I was withdrawn from the world. I was not the Raf we are seeing today. I was not talking to people. If you talk to me, I will just cuss you out. I won't have time for any nonsense. I still don't have time for some nonsense. But I'm in therapy now. I've been in therapy for over a year. I did therapy for over a year, in 2015 into 2016. Then I stopped. And then I'm still in therapy now. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I say it all the time. I tell people, like, there's nothing wrong with being in therapy. You don't need to wait until the house is on fire before you go to therapy. If you can afford it, get it. And I know people in Nigeria who are actually on therapy. And I tell them, get it. Especially for men, for black men. Especially those of us who were raised in my situation. After my daughter was born, I knew how I was feeling. And I was like, okay, there are certain things that I don't know what's going on with me, but I need help. So I went to a professional to get help. Now, why am I sharing this? Someone said that brought up the case in Texas, the shooting yesterday, that mental health, that's a lie. I'm just putting that out there. I'm a veteran. I'm a guy who has slight PTSD. Okay, I've been talking on this platform since. If I didn't say that, now you people say, "Oh, this guy is fantastic at this." Wait, I'm hang out with a lot of veterans who some of them say dark stuff, very dark stuff. We have very dark sense of humor. If you hang out around our veterans, they can say very dark stuff. We don't carry gun and be shooting people. How many of us go around and be shooting people just because things don't work out for us? I should be over 100% on disabilities, but I haven't been approved. I keep getting denied, and I'm still fighting for it. That doesn't mean I'm going to carry gun and shoot people. Why would I go and buy a weapon that's meant to kill human beings? That's what that Peking carried yesterday. And you are here saying mental illness is not an excuse to go and kill children in a primary school. You understand what's going on in your head? And you are giving that guy an excuse. Somebody drove 3 hours to go and kill black people in Buffalo. That is an assassination.
That's
you
right.
sit down. If outside person do that to Igbo people, will you say mental illness? Is that the first excuse? You know, when you are targeting somebody, I want to kill you, you buy a weapon meant to kill. Why do in America we have too many guns in America? That is a fact. Too many people should not be having guns.
Oh yeah.
Before we didn't carry guns up and down in Navy, and there are people who still kill people in the Navy, and our Oga went to jail for that. I know of some Oga who are in jail for allowing somebody who shouldn't have had a gun in his hand to hold a gun. There's a different law system for military from the police, and we still mess up in the military, by the way. So before people will just come on platforms like this and just start saying mental illness, know what you're talking about. Don't just come and start throwing it out there. Back to today's, so we have an echo from somewhere. I don't know who's.
Yeah, I muted him. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on today's topic, that we were talking about, I know that we throw the word crazy in Nigeria, and for me, I've stopped using that word a few years ago because I came to the realization that there's nobody who's crazy. to be honest. It's only people who we choose to see as crazy, or we've chosen to accept as we have our selection for who we consider to be crazy, and it tends to be people who are poor or ordinary. Because if we somebody who you are our favorite, we won't call you crazy. But Ogao will love you. But we shouldn't be hanging out around you. We should be saying, bros, you need help. Go get help. But we'll carry power and put in your hand. We'll carry authority and put in your hand and give the authority to abuse us. So I don't call people crazy anymore. I still regret my uncle. That guy walked from Ghana to Nigeria, and now I think he has walked back to Ghana. I don't know where he is now. But all I knew was that one day the guy was studying accounting in when I was a kid. When I was born in 1982, and in 83 they said they saw him in a train. That was the last time he was considered quote unquote normal. And since then, he has been entering one issue or another. But he was never given a proper diagnosis. Everybody wanted to go and lock him up in the church, lock him up in the church, lock him up in the church, and they messed it up. So I stopped calling people crazy. I believe education is where it starts, and education is not limited to just classroom. Education is in the family. Education is in the neighborhood, the streets. How do we talk to each other? Our language, a lot of it has to change. We are talking, when we talk politics, we say revolution, we say all these things. That also includes mental illness. Mental illness, sometimes we talk about it like it's like headache, and you just take Panadol and then it's gone. Everybody has different diagnoses. Some people have to be on therapy for 20 years. Some will have to be on it for like 1 year. It's different. That's why I said every Nigerian needs to be on is suffering trauma. They need help. We all need help. Everybody knows when you know where you're at. Figure it out. Go get help. You don't need to tell me if you're on help. That's fine. It's your own private thing. But for people back home, they all need help. If you are going to pastor for help, which many of us have been doing, or your imam, you need someone more qualified than those two, because they are not trained to deal with some of the help, the help to give you, because they go based on a book. And when you start exhibiting symptoms that go beyond what they know to deal with, my God, they have to judge you. And I'm sorry, they are human. So you end up being chained, you end up being abused, you end up being, if you don't have the money to pay your way out of it, then we start hearing of cases where all manner of dark stuff start coming out. So there are people who are still in Nigeria offering all manner of no, I won't say all manner, but they're offering they're doing their best to offer their mental health advocates, their mental health professionals. Please utilize them. It's not easy, but please utilize them, because if nobody's going to them, the only option left for them is to leave the country. So we need to utilize them, give them a voice, push them out on your social media, because they are the people who need to be given support at the end of the day. So
Can I just ask you a quick question,
language,
please?
Okay, go ahead, Oliver.
Quick question. Because he is from the US, a country where just 2 years ago, 45,000 people were killed from gun violence, which is crazy. That is basically a war situation.
Okay.
And but somehow they managed to sanitize it to a point whereby we still like to go there. I think this tells someone something. I want to ask you, why is it that in the US, just like Nigeria, where we can fix power, they can't seem to sort that issue out? And also about your this unfortunate mental situation. Could it be because of leaving the military? Maybe you didn't have any traumatic experience from the military itself, but because you left it, because I've had a few people that say that because military is almost like a family, and when you leave it and you start a new life, sometimes just like the post-mortem stuff that they said, will lead to some form of depression that sets in after that period. Do you think maybe that could be associated with it, or is it some experience you had in the military?
Okay. All right. First of all, I'm just going to be nice to you today. I was born and raised in Nigeria. I'm an Ijaw boy. I've lived in Jos, I lived in Benin City, I lived in Ibadan, I lived in Lagos. If you want history lesson, I give you history lesson. And I can give you history of many places. So careful where you go when you say I'm from the US and I'm a Nigerian American. All right? Now, wait, I'm talking. Let me land. I'll let you speak. So give me some respect there. Now, there's a reason why many men don't share their situation because of the way you asked your question now. I mentioned when I said I went for my checkup and I refused to admit that I had suffered a traumatic experience while I was in the service. And now you come with a question saying, oh, is it because I left the military? I know what the military is family. Veterans are still family. We still connect together. So we have people who've been living in the military. If you spend only 1 year in the military, you're a veteran. So we have that connection. We say brotherhood, including our sisters, including our gay brethren. We all consider each other. If except you're the one who's the type who's like right wing, then you don't consider gay people. But I'm not right wing, so I consider everybody a brethren. So when you separate, yes, you'll feel a detachment. But if you suffer a traumatic experience during your service, and you refuse to acknowledge it's a traumatic experience, or you don't have the language to know that you suffered a traumatic experience. That's why I mentioned that at the beginning, that when I was asked about a traumatic experience, I said, hell no. That's why I pay attention to when somebody says, I don't use my words carelessly. Then you have to ask, why did you say hell no? Because I already given you the answer from the beginning. So, but yes, it had nothing to do with my separation, because I was already, it's the way I was raised in Nigeria. What do they tell you is, what do you consider trauma? Who tells you trauma? When I left Nigeria, I was 25, and then I joined the military immediately. So is your mindset about trauma? The only thing you expect to hear is PTSD, that, oh, you got shot. So if you didn't get shot and you are going to be checked for healthcare, I should have been getting my disability, which is what I'm still paying for today, because I missed out for a couple of years until I moved to New York, and a nurse saw my record and I was like, why are you on zero? Why don't you have any disability? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, what the hell? You're getting treatment for a whole bunch of things. There's no disability in your record. What is wrong with you? And I'm there doing Superman. I'm doing Superman, but my knee, my shoulder, I'm feeling pain everywhere. But I'm forming Superman. But you have to ask yourself, and I know many people like that. I know many people, I have 6-pack. But there are many of us like that. We're suffering this thing. And when they hear, oh boy, they go therapy, I want to try that, Hey, but I say, my guy, it's free. We have free services. Just go. You don't need to tell me. Don't tell me. Just talk to your doctor. It's free. They'll give you free service. It's for veterans. They'll give you free. It's not even like American private healthcare. About the gun situation, it's kind of like voting, right? You have one side saying, I want to solve a problem. Another side is invested in saying, don't solve it. How can you get to a solution? If the main public, the people that have the power to vote, aren't interested in voting in the side that wants to solve it, how can you reach a solution? So it's the voters' fault at the end of the day. If we don't vote the people who can solve it into power, then we will be stuck where we are, because we can blame Obama, blame Biden, we won't blame Trump, we won't blame George W. Bush, who will be thoughts and prayers. So that's where we are. So
all right. We have to round up. So we've done more than 2 hours. Paul Jose, do you want to speak? Round up. We've done more than 2 hours.
Can you hear me now, Doctor?
Yeah, but your line is not good. Your line is not good.
Are you watching on two
devices? No.
My phone.
No.
You may not know. You may not know that you open two browsers.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. We won't talk.
Okay. Go ahead. We won't talk. Just okay. You can hear me now, Doctor. I've been a great fan of you anyway. It's nice seeing you here. When you were analyzing during the Sahara with So I've been a great fan of you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a great, and I'll say it's a pleasure anyway. About the health crazy stuff. Well, I happen to live to grow up in a village, Fuga to be precise. I don't know if you live Edo State, Fuga. I think this my man here will know Fuga. Yeah. So so many things happen anyway. But I just want to say a little thing. We should not throw away so many things, the real thing, and be talking about what is not really necessary. We know the problem. We know how it all started, and some people are jumping it, and why some people are talking about it. This guy, the doctor, I've forgotten his name. The doctor
Dominic.
that spoke.
Dominic,
Yeah. He said so many things about what I want to say. He has nailed it all. We have a problem in Nigeria, and the big problem is the religion. It's not just politicians. To me, it's not just politics. Even the politics is from the church. Let me just use, because I'm a Christian and I know I've seen so many things. While I was growing up, I used to attend the Catholic church. I was born as a Catholic, and we knew how it was. Going to church was at people who are. I mean, I don't like. I will not. It's
Okay.
it's kind of
your
make
line
me
is
sick
not.
when I see these guys. Okay,
Your
and
line is not.
it's not good.
Yeah, your line is not.
Oh my
So,
god. I don't know.
what we
Maybe
have,
it's my.
don't worry. Next time, just join us next time. Okay? You already over the time by
It's
more
okay.
than
It's okay.
20 minutes, more than 26 minutes. Thank you so much.
Maybe I will
Okay?
use maybe I will use my phone next time.
Yeah, please. All right.
Sorry, I think he touched on something very important regarding religion that I think it could lead to some serious mental health problems for people. Like when he said something about religion, he jogged my memory about a discussion I had regarding how religion affects our people. Because I actually believe that the North is just as brainwashed as the South. What happens is that when our people worship some gods, like a Christian worships a Christ, in their head, they picture a Christ that is Nordic looking, blonde hair, blue eyes, and looking like a foreign god. And psychologically, if you want to break away from such people in the real world, you could suffer a psychotic break, because in your heart, in your mind, you are worshiping these people, that a god that looks like them, and you are also looking to liberate yourself from them. There is a reason why they converted a Jewish or Middle Eastern looking Christ to a blonde hair, blue eye looking Christ, because they wanted it to look like them. And in the case of the Muslims, they literally speak a foreign language to read their book, and I don't want to sound like I'm being offensive. They bow to the nation where they believe in that religion, and hence why you find our young men burning if a fellow black woman, a fellow native of theirs, because somebody says something wrong about a god that is not one of theirs, it's not their language, not anything. And I think it's a mental problem, because it's a deep one. It's right there, and we don't confront it. I believe if you are praying to Christ, if you are praying to God, you better start picturing a black God and a black Jesus. Because if you want to liberate yourself from those people, you will find it hard to do when you are busy worshiping a God that is like them. You get what I mean? So you can't worship something at the same time want to free yourself from them, their control. You can't. And it's going to lead to a mental problem.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy.
If you don't free that,
All
you're
right.
going to be stuck.
All right. Thank you so much. We have to round up. I appreciate all your time. I know we just have to touch on this topic. We don't know who this will reach and who will pick it up as something to champion. You know, these are some of the issues that are looking for someone to champion. It's not just about going there to be president and to be governor and to you know, there are a lot of things that we need to do. I really appreciate all of you, your time, and I want to play a video to maybe lighten up the mood. I know that we dealt with a very heavy topic, so let's watch the video before we go end the way we usually end. This was when things were going well before yesterday.
I think Wike might actually be the first Igbo president. People might not like it. They like it or not, he might actually be the first Igbo president. That guy stands the best chance for PDP. If they don't choose him, they don't have a chance.
You know, it's interesting. I keep wondering yesterday, did he, when he was dancing there, did he know there would be a day that he would just be like an ordinary criminal in the eyes of the government that he was part of?
Doctor, is there any way you can bring Rochas online?
We've been trying to get Rochas, even Wike to interview Wike on the other show, but it's not they don't want to. But let's
we're still on record.
We're still on. This is the last video, then we go on. All right, so thank you everybody for joining us today. It's been wonderful. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you guys next week. Obie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Raf, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, everyone. Forefathers, Paul, Ovie,
Oliver.
Dr. Damages, I have one question for you before you leave.
And share, like the video and share, everybody.
Yeah, please.
And Paul, the other Paul said something about you, following you for a very long time. I've been following you for a very long time, but let's leave that. When will you bring tomato juice?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There are people who've been demanding for that. So by next week, I'll give you answer when she's coming. Yeah. So she started her own podcast. So very soon I'll bring it.
Nice. Well, yeah. Let me know the name. I'll check it out.
I will. I'll bring it. Anyway, thank you, everybody. See you on Saturday if you have the chance.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.